Hello everyone, welcome to part 7 of the Kaleidoscope blanket by Bligh. For part 7, we're going to be making 36 triangles. They're going to have all the same style and colorway. Okay, so to do this, you're going to be using the same 4 colors. Your top color is your background color. Here, I'll just show you. Your top color is your background color. That will be the body of the blanket. And then as you go down, you work your way up. So shrimp, your second color down is going to be color 2. Lipstick, or the third one here, will be color 3. And then the pomegranate is color 4. So these start out in the same way as our other triangles. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So you start with a slip knot. And then you're going to chain 4 and do a double crochet into the first stitch right above the slip knot. Whoops, I messed up. Let me do that again. Okay, so a double crochet into the first one. We should all probably be really good at this by now. So here's that. This is row 1. Row 2, you begin by chain 3, turn, do a double crochet into the same stitch, so right at the base of that chain 3, and then you're going to do 2 double crochets in the next stitch over. So 1 and 2. Okay, so this is row 1 and 2. Now for row 3, again we're going to chain 3, turn, do a double crochet into the base of your chain 3 or into the same stitch. Do 2 double crochets into the next 2 stitches. And then in our last stitch, we're going to put 2 double crochets into the last stitch. So at the end of row 3, you should have 6 double crochets. Okay, this is just like all of our other triangles that we've made so far. Okay, for row 4, we're going to introduce color 2. I'm going to lay it over my gray, do a chain 1 and turn. The first thing we're going to do is a single crochet into the same stitch, or the very first. Go ahead and change to color 2 with that single crochet. Now we're going to do the first of our front post treble crochet into the right middle stitch of row 2. Okay, change colors back to color 1. We're going to skip 1 stitch from row 3 and do a single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Change color at the end of that second single crochet. Now we're going to do our second double front post crochet into the left hand middle stitch from row 2. Change back to color 1. Skip 1 stitch from row 3 and do a single crochet into the very last stitch. Okay, so so far it's the same as what we've done before. This is what it will look like at the end of row 4. For row 5, we're going to go ahead and chain 1 and turn. You are going to carry color 2 along the back of this. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is 2 single crochets into the same stitch. Now we're going to do 1 single crochet into each stitch across until we get to the very last stitch. Okay, so we're not doing anything with color 2 this time, we're just carrying it along the back. In that very last stitch, you're going to do 2 single crochets. Okay, so now this is the end of row 5. For row 6, you're going to chain 3 and turn. Okay, I'm going to fold my color 2 up behind. The first thing you're going to do is a double crochet into the same stitch, and we're going to pick up color 2 just behind it. Okay, but now you're going to drop color 2, and we're not going to do anything else with it on this row, so just let it hang back there. Now you're going to do a double crochet in each stitch across. When you get to the last stitch, we are going to do 2 double crochets into that same last stitch. So 1 double crochet in each stitch across until you get to the last one, and then you're going to do 2 of them into that stitch. Here is 1 and 2. Okay, so this is the end of row 6. Okay, at the end of row 6, we have a message from Catherine to put some stitch markers on those middle 2 stitches. So what you're going to do is count over, if you're counting from the right side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The 5th double crochet and the 6th double crochet are the ones that you want to mark, and they're just the 2 stitches in the very middle. So you should have 4 double crochets on either side of those marked stitches. Okay, now for row 7, you're going to go ahead and do chain 1, okay, turn, and do a single crochet into the first stitch and each stitch across. So a single crochet into the first stitch and in each stitch across. Now when you get to the 9th stitch, the 9th single crochet that you're making on this row, we're going to pick up color 2. We're just raising it up to the level that we need it when we pick it up and use it again. Okay, so now I'm at single crochet number 9. I'm just going to go down here and pick it up and do a single crochet. Okay, so I've just caught it, and then you're going to drop it. You don't need to do it, you don't need to carry it into your last single crochet. So here's my last single crochet for this round. Whoops, having a little trouble with my yarn. There we go. Okay, so we've just kind of raised it up for when we can pick it up and use it again. Okay, this is at the end of row 7. Okay, for row 8, we're going to chain 1 and turn. Now we can pick up and use color 2. The first thing we're going to do is a single crochet into the same stitch, and we're going to change colors to color 2. Okay, we're going to do the first of our front post double treble crochet, and you're just going to do it into that front post stitch directly below. So yarn over and pull through 2 loops 3 times, and then go ahead and change colors. Okay, here's our first one. Skip 1 stitch from row 7 and do a single crochet into the next stitch, but change colors again. So now we are back to color 2. Now we're going to make a little X, and we're going to do it with these 2 marked stitches that we have down below. So I'm going to do, this one is just a treble, front post treble crochet. So I'm going to yarn over twice for this one. I'm going to go into the left marked stitch and do my front post treble crochet. Go ahead and change colors at the end. Skip one stitch from row 7 and do 2 single crochets into each of the next 2 stitches. So here's 1 and 2. Now I'm going to change back to color 2. Okay, now we're going to complete our X. So we're going to do another front post treble crochet. So yarn over twice, and we're going to go into that right sided marked stitch. Okay, so just directly behind it. Okay, and change colors. Okay, skip one stitch from row 7 and do a single crochet into the next stitch. Okay, change colors again, back to color 2. Okay, now we're going to do our front post double treble into our front post directly below. So yarn over 3 times, go back around the post, yarn over and pull through 2 loops 3 times, change back to color 1, skip 1 stitch from row 7 and do a single crochet into the very last stitch. Okay, so this is what you should have at the end of row 8. You can go ahead and remove your stitch markers because we're done with those now. And you can break off color 2. Okay, moving along now. So we're on to row 9. We're going to chain 1 and turn. Do 2 single crochets into the very first stitch, 1 and 2, and then a single crochet in each stitch across. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move across. When you get to the last stitch, you are again going to put 2 single crochets into the last stitch. And then that will conclude row number 9. Okay, so at the end of row 9, this is what it looks like from the back. And then this is what it looks like from the front. For row number 10, chain 3 and turn. You're going to do a double crochet not into the base of the chain 3, but 1 stitch over. Okay, so we're going to do a double crochet not into the same stitch or the base, but 1 stitch over. So here's my double crochet. Do 1 more double crochet in the next stitch over. Now we're going to do a V-stitch. So that means we're going to skip 1 stitch from row 9, do a double crochet into the next one, chain 1, and do a double crochet into that same stitch. Okay, skip 2 stitches now from row 9 and do a double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1 again, and do a double crochet into the same stitch as the last double crochet. So what we end up with are 2 V stitches in the middle. Okay, skip 1 stitch from row 9 and do a double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So for row 10, what you're going to end up with is 3 double crochets on each end and 2 V stitches in the middle. Okay, I hope you can see that clearly. For row 11, we're going to chain 1 and turn. do a single crochet in each of the first 4 stitches. Just one single crochet in each of the 4 stitches, the first 4. Then you're going to do a chain 1, skip the chain 1 from row 10, and do a single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. Okay, now we're at the top of the other V-stitch. We're going to do the same thing again. Chain 1, skip that chain 1 from row 10, and do a single crochet into each of the last 4 stitches. By now we should be familiar. This is the way that Catherine sets up her backwards popcorn stitches. So we have a good hole right there where we're going to put our hook for the backwards popcorn. Okay, so this is the back at the end of row 11. For row 12, we're going to introduce our next color of yarn. It's going to be, mine is the lipstick, so this is going to be color 3. I'm going to go ahead and lay it over the top and chain 1 and turn. Okay, so our first stitch is going to be a single crochet into the same stitch, but change to color 3 at the end. Okay. We're going to do a front post double treble into the front post stitch directly below. So I'm going to yarn over 3 times, go around that front post stitch, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops 3 times. Now we're going to change back to color number 1, skip 1 stitch from, let's see, row 11, and do a single crochet into the next stitch. Go ahead and change colors again back to color 3, and we're going to do another front post double treble into the front post stitch that was just below. So yarn over 3 times, go around the post stitch, and there we go, change colors. Again, skip 1 stitch from row 11 and do 4 single chains across, okay? So let's see here. We're going to go into this one, I believe. Let me see. So this one, okay. So here's my first one. 1, 2, 3. And on that 4th one, go ahead and change back to color 3. And we're going to do another front post double treble in the post stitch that is just below. So yarn over 3 times, go around our post stitch, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops 3 times. Change colors back to color 1. Skip 1 stitch from row 11 and do a single crochet into the next stitch. And you got it. We're going to change colors back to color number 3 and do our last front post double treble for this row into the post stitch just below. And there we go. Change back to color number 1. Skip 1 stitch from row 11 and do a single crochet into the last stitch. I lost it. Okay, so this is the end of row 12. It's looking very nice. I love the gray background. I love the style, the colors on this triangle. We're going to go ahead and move on to row 13. So chain 1 and turn. You're going to carry color number 3 along the top. We're going to do 2 single crochets into the same stitch or the first stitch, okay? Do a single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. Okay, and change colors on that last one. Okay, so you should have 5 single crochets across the top, and now we've switched to color 3. We're going to do the first of our backwards popcorn. You can see where we're going to go right here. So I'm going to yarn over, go around behind it, go through that hole created above the V-stitch and wrap it around and hold it tight. Go ahead and finish your first double crochet and complete 4 more double crochets for your backwards popcorn. On that very last backwards popcorn, change color back to color number 1, pull up a loop, go into the very first double crochet that you made, pick up your loop and pull it through. Okay, now we're going to skip 1 stitch from, let's see, what row was that? That would have been row 12. So skip 1 stitch, and we're going to do a single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Okay, so there's 1 and 2, and I'm going to go ahead and change back to color 3 at the end of that second single crochet. I think I might have said double crochet there. Those are supposed to be single crochets. Now we're going to do our second backwards popcorn. You can kind of see there's our hole in the V-stitch, just above the V-stitch. So yarn over, go back behind it, go into that top hole, and come back through the V-stitch and fold it over. Now we're going to go 4 double crochets. In that 5th double crochet, change back to color number 1. Whoops. There's 4, and now my 5th one, I'm going to change to color number 1. Pull it through, pull up a loop, go into your very first double crochet of that popcorn, pick up your loop and pull it through. Okay. Now at this point, you're going to leave color number 3 dangling in the back, and we will pick it up on the next one. Okay, so go ahead and leave it dangling. Skip 1 stitch from row 12. So your first single crochet after this popcorn is going to go into the colored stitch right there. Okay, so a single crochet again and again. So after that backwards popcorn, do a single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches and 2 single crochets into the last stitch. So 1 and 2. Okay, so at the end of row 13, this is what we have from the back. We have color 3 dangling. On the front, we have our 2 popcorn stitches. For row 14, we begin with a chain 3 and turn. Do a double crochet into the same stitch at the base of the chain 3, and then do a double crochet into each of the next 3 stitches across. So at this point, you should have 5 double crochets right here. So on your 6th one, you're going to go in and we're going to pick up color 3. Okay, so I've just kind of picked it up, and you're going to carry it across a couple stitches right here. Okay, finish that double crochet, do another double crochet into the top of your backwards popcorn, chain 1, skip 1 stitch from row 13, and do a double crochet into the next stitch. You are going to be able to see color 3 right there in the middle, but we're going to put a backwards popcorn right here, and then you won't see it. Okay, now we're going to drop color 3 at the back, and don't carry it across the rest of this row. Okay, So a double crochet into the top of your popcorn stitch. Do a double crochet in each of the stitches across, but remember to put 2 double crochets into the last stitch. Okay, so a double crochet in each stitch across, and when you get to the last stitch, put 2 double crochets there. Whoops. So here's 1 and 2. So let me point out what you're going to have at the end of this row. Okay, so at the end of row 14, on the right side, counting your chain 3, you're going to have 7 double crochets. On the left side, you're going to have 4 double crochets, and then you should have a chain 1 with a hole in the middle. Okay? For row 15, chain 1 and turn, and we're going to go ahead and do 6 single crochets. So do a single crochet into your first stitch, and then on the 7th single crochet across, we're going to pick up color 3. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, here's 6. Now on my 7th single crochet, I'm going to pick up color 3, and I'm going to go ahead and change colors to color 3. Okay, so on that 7th single crochet, you're going to pick up color 3. So let me show you how I did it again. So I have my 6 single crochets across the top. On the 7th one, I'm going to pick up color 3 and do another single crochet into the next stitch, but change to color number 3. Okay, so this is where I'm at right now. Now we're going to do a backwards popcorn into this space. Okay, so you're doing it into this skipped stitch from, let's see, what row would that have been? From row 13, okay? So you're going to yarn over, go back behind. You want to go behind this, let's see, your carried number 3 yarn. Okay, so we're going to go behind it too, come back and pick up that skipped stitch. Okay, go ahead and complete your double crochet. So let me show you that again real quick. Okay, so yarn over, go back behind, including behind the carried yarn, and pick up that skipped stitch. Now we're going to do 4. Okay, sorry about the interruption. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish the backwards popcorn right here. So I've got 2 double crochets. I'm going to do 3 more. And on that 5th one, I'm going to change back to color 1. Okay, pull up a loop, go into the very first double crochet, pick up your loop and pull it through. Okay, so this is where it looks like we're at. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pull color 3 back here to the back, and you're going to leave it hanging because we're really done with it. We can break it off at this point. So let's go ahead and cut it. Cutting it really short because I'm probably going to run out of my yarn, but I'm going to play yarn chicken. Okay, so leave that one hanging. After your backwards popcorn, you're going to do a single crochet into the chain 1 space. Okay, so a single crochet into that chain 1 space, and then a single crochet in each stitch across. You should end up having 8 single crochets on the left side of your backwards popcorn. Okay, so now this is what it looks like at the end of row 15 from the back and from the front. Okay. Now for row 16, we're going to introduce color number 4 now. So I'm going to go ahead and pull mine over and lay it over the top. Whoops, I got tangled up there. Okay, lay it over the top, chain 1 and turn. Okay, do a single crochet into the same stitch at the base of your chain 1 and change colors to color number 4. Now we're going to do a double treble into that post stitch that runs along the right side. So yarn over 3 times, go around the post, and change colors back to color number 1 at the end of that post stitch. Okay, skip 1 stitch from row 15 and do a single crochet into the next stitch. Go ahead and change back to color number 4 with that single crochet, and now we're going to extend our other post stitch that's on the right side. So you're going to do a double treble, so yarn over 3 times and go into that post stitch. Excuse me. Okay, change back to color number 1. Now with this particular post stitch, you are not going to skip a stitch from row 15. We're going to do a single crochet into the next stitch and in each of the next 8 stitches across. So a single crochet into each of the next 8 stitches across. Now remember that the top of your backwards popcorn is a stitch, okay? And just working my way across. Whoops. Okay, so let's count how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We should have 9 going across the middle. On that 9th one, change back to color number 4. I need to stick that one back there. And we've changed colors. Now we're going to do our double treble front post stitch into the inside post on the left side. Okay, there. Change back to color number 1. Okay, skip 1 stitch from row 15. So I shouldn't have picked that up right there. Okay, so I'm going to skip 1 stitch from row 15 and do a single crochet into the next one. Go ahead and change back to color number 4 and do another double treble into our last post that's on the left side. Change back to color 1 with that post and do a single crochet into the last stitch. This does have you skipping a stitch from row 15. Okay, so this is what you should have at the end of row 15. Okay, we have our post stitches running along either side and 3 popcorns in the middle. You can break off color number 4 for row 17. Chain 1 and turn. Do 2 single crochets into the first stitch and the last stitch. Each of the middle stitches is going to have a single crochet. That's it. Okay, so I did 2 single crochets into the first one, and I'm going to do 1 single crochet across all these stitches across the middle, and then I'm going to put 2 single crochets into the last stitch. And I'm just going to work my way across. You'll find these triangles go really fast. I wouldn't have thought I was picking up speed with them, but these go pretty fast for me. I really enjoy this triangle. I like sewing or crocheting these triangles. So I hope you guys do too. I'm at my last stitch, so I'm going to put 2 single crochets into it. And at that point, you are done. Here is the back. I'm going to go ahead and break off color number 1 and pull it through. And let me turn and show you. Very beautiful triangle. I cannot wait to get to put these together. I'm so very excited. Thank you, Catherine, for creating such a wonderful blanket.